4 long years after G2 were destroyed at the hand of Doinby's Nautilus Mid, Caps has joined the Doinby club. He is spamming the pick in solo queue with very good success, especially when you consider he is playing on his top 5 ranked account and playing versus EU West's best players. In the past 4 days, he is 7-1 on the pick, so let's break down how he's doing it. Let's start with what is he pairing it with. For you to pick this supportive style mid laner, you need to be picking it so that you are facilitating your jungler, either through very strong 2v2s or pushing and moving to invade with your jungler. In the majority of his games, he is playing with carry style champions like Kindred, Italy, or Bel'Veth. The pick even works well with Lee because of your strong gank setup. For the runes, there are 2 pages that Caps runs. The default one is an aftershock page with all the minor runes that you would expect, and some of these are flexible. For secondary runes, you need to run minion DMAT. The other is personal preference, likely to be Cosmic or Hexflash, but feel free to try others. The other page he tried was a phase rush page. This looks useful in matchups where you cannot trade at all and you just want to land your 3 spells and then run away as quickly as possible. For skill order, Caps will max E into Q, then W last. However, I recommend maxing E into only 3 points Q before W. In mid to late game, you'll get blown up so fast with no additional W points. However, it's flexible depending on your game. For items, he starts every game with Corrupting Pot and looks for an early base to get a Dark Seal and Ruby Crystal. You'll be looking to complete Catalyst as quickly as possible, as this is a very strong point where you cannot be bullied anymore in the lane. Then complete Abyssal Mask and go into your last item, which will be an Even Shroud. Even Shroud plus Abyssal Mask is a really nice combo because they synergize together. Abyssal Mask reduces the enemy's MR, which causes them to take more damage, and also Even Shroud's debuff makes the enemies take more damage, so they're taking a lot of damage, and this is really useful when you're setting up your allies, whether it be a carry jungler or a mage, whatever it is, you're helping them deal more damage. If your game is snowballing well, and it should be, you can look for a Magi's too. After Even Shroud, you'll need to see what the biggest needs are in your game. Is it armor via Randuin's or more MR, or maybe even a support item like Redemption, Mikael's, or Knight's Vow? Whatever it is, adjust appropriately to your own game. Let's get into some gameplay. Level 1 you are extremely strong, so look to invade with your team. However, be careful not to skill Q unless you see the hook angle. Starting lane with Q is not ideal in most matchups, so please try to avoid it. Most lanes you will take W level 1, in either trade auto W auto, as W is an auto reset, or just look to W auto the wave to start pushing. Caps plays most of these lanes to obtain a slow push, and then crashes, and then roams, going into the fog, meeting up with his jungler, either to invade or roam to the bot lane. Naut in melee matchups can trade really well, so don't be afraid to abuse your W, Aftershock, and Corrupting Pot to take favourable trades. In range lanes, you'll be playing mostly PvE, trying to kill minions without taking too much harass, and to get your push. Caps uses his minion DMAT only on range CS, as you want to be able to E and W AoE them in one hit for the rest of your game. If you were to build full AP, you can actually one-shot the backline with just E and DMAT, but this build is a lot more volatile and I wouldn't recommend it. In every game, he looks for roams as soon as he is level 3 and has access to all 3 skills. Your roam destination will likely be bot lane or invading with your jungler around the bot lane. No matter what happens, you need to drop into fog as soon as you push your wave. This applies for the entire game, as moving into the fog creates pressure. In matchups you cannot push and roam, you'll spam ping your jungler to come after level 3, and either with your strong gank setup, you will either blow sums or get kills. Even if the enemy jungler does show up, you just win most 2v2s. Around levels 5 to 6, you are very strong and people do not expect it, especially the E damage, so you'll often find lethal windows which shock the enemies. No matter what happens, you want to keep the game as much as of a fiesta as possible, and don't hesitate to drop waves, to roam, or even TP away from your lane from base to force dives onto the enemy bot lane. Mentally booming AD carry players is always a win condition. Once you have Catalyst, you are super strong, and you auto push waves while taking no damage. It's almost unfair how good it feels. Once you reach Abyssal Mask, you have tons of base stats, but you also have pseudo damage, which helps you to snowball your game and secure some extra kills. CDR is very important for Naut, so look to complete Lucidity boosts. Later in the game you are basically a hook, but you should be very ahead. Every game Caps is playing, his bot lane has been very snowballed. Every game is pretty much over before the clock hits 14 minutes. Your team should be getting most neutrals, and either top or bot lane should be completely over in your team's favour. This means that you can just kinda YOLO engage, do your best to blow up the first target. There's not much to it from here, you're just playing a high econ Nautilus, trying to cause as much disruption as possible, trying to get as many picks as possible, and just using your gold. I hope that Caps pulls it off at MSI, and it would likely be to enable Yike to play some sort of carry, whether it be his Bel'Veth or Kha'Zix, which every pro has been spamming, including him. But that's all, I hope you learned something here, and good luck and have fun trying it out in your own solo queue games.